less than 100, you think that I'm reckless. I ain't trying to depress it, I ain't trying to be asking. I just wanna be holy, this is my methods. Plus I'm trying to change my mama and daddy addresses. Plus we trying to buy a home, it's acting flexes. All I think of is cash, and I love at my exes. They all getting the message, block sending me texts. Yet you thinking my effort is all finesse. Yet you thinking I'm folding my under pressure. Now my cold as a ball breeze, holding on every word, thinking it's all sweet. Flip side, you feel good, it's all me. I was hanging in the crowd. I sit back and just think about how I want to run through. I'm so sure good cause I just want to feel so young. I just want to feel so good.
Suki, I like this. I like this song. It's a bop, yo. It's a bop. Hey, there we go.
Hey,
How goes it?
I am well. I cannot complain.
So, before we get started, man, we have I think we still have people loading in. So thank you for all the people that's now joining us and everything. But I just wanted to go and say this is the beginning. If anybody hasn't followed us already on another Black podcast, which is the ABP show now on Instagram. We just want to thank everybody that's taking the time out in their busy Zoom filled day to chill and chop it up with us, man. This is a really important day for us. Suki and I, as I said on the IG, Suki and I have been talking about doing some type of tour. or a concept for a while now, and we started talking heavily about it in January. And the first part was our pop up, and that kind of got nixed. But we have been talking about some this concept, and now we have the Who All Gonna Be There tour. And this has been in the making for a while. So I'm just excited that we are starting off with something so big like this, where we have Georgetown University's department CSJ, ooh, ooh, ooh,
Woo-hoo.
which is the Center for Social Justice Research, um, and oh my goodness, I always mess this up. CSJ. All right, and I'll pull that up later. I did so good in IG earlier, man. I knew it, but we're big up to them, and also Chanel Robertson, one of our listeners who made this all happen, man. So big
Yes.
up to all of them over there. It's a good team over there. Um, how was your day? How was your week so far, Suki? It's been going good. How's your week been?
Terrible. To be completely transparent.
Okay. Well, before we go into that, let's start how we always start. This is
Never Black Podcast.
I am Dolo
And I'm Suki.
and this is the first start for Who All Gonna Be There tour. And big shout out to everybody that's here. As always, even though it's not 5 p.m., but it's 5 p.m. somewhere. We always start our show with a little bit of
I'm already
libations.
ready. I'm already ready.
Um,
Sorry.
with a little bit of libations, nothing crazy. I'm just gonna do a little champagne. That's something it's like keynote now. It's like a keystone in our show. So big up to you guys. So now you saying your week. You don't know how your week has been. It's been crazy, huh?
Yes.
What's been going on, man?
So pretty much at this point, school's opening,
Hmm.
and there's no other way to say it. We ain't ready.
You don't think you're ready, or you not, or you really not ready.
All of the above. No one's
It's a
ready.
lot. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of rushing, just trying to get everybody together, ease people's nerves.
Hmm.
This is crazy. This is unlike something we've ever seen before with COVID-19. So
Yeah,
to reincorporate, kids back into the classroom again is wicked. Like,
yeah. I hear you, man. I
yeah.
hear you. I know that on my end, being not being in education, but being a parent.
Right.
My daughter had picture day, which is weird. Now she is 100% working from not working, but 100%
She's
at
working.
home. She
She's
working. She
working.
working.
Shout outs
You
to all
know,
the students working from
shout out to
home.
all the students really working from home.
Yes.
And shout out to the parents and to the teachers and to everybody that's doing their thing. But yeah, I was always wondering. I was, when this whole thing started, I was wondering, I'm like, man, how are they going to do picture day? I've seen some people literally, some schools require their parent to like take a picture of their kid with a background, with just like on a white background. So I think you would just send that in. But my daughter, because she's 100%, they gave a day specifically for students that was 100% from home.
Uh-huh.
And she had to go in and take a picture, and then that's it. So, it was different, but now it's all digital. Like it's not even back in the like a few years ago, it used to be a CD that you could buy that cost mad money, but now it's like you can get like just buy a digital copy for like $40. And they brought back the lasers. Do you remember the lasers?
Yo, I was so angry that my parents would not let me get that background because I wanted that. And my mother
Right.
was like, no, no way. I was like, I want the laser. Either
Well, I
that or
think
the little fur coat with the wine glass in it. I
okay.
know,
That's I don't think I think that's the
everybody
club.
aunt was like,
You are stupid. Yeah,
I
man.
definitely
But
wanted that.
I'm thinking Harlan. I definitely want Harlan to have the lasers, but that's up to her mother what she do. But I really want the lasers. Like the lasers is like that's a staple
Do
in
you have
like
an option for other background, like multiple
um
backgrounds, or no?
well, her mother had told me that there's a few options, and I was just like, lasers is where I'm at with it. Cause I just
I feel
remember
you.
either the lasers or the one where it's the picture and then it's like a mirror image of you, like a faded image of you. Oh
Like the
man,
Napoleon Dynamite
give me
glamour
that.
shots.
I
Yeah,
would pay a
lit.
hundred dollars to get my daughter that. I might just do it on the humbug because that's nostalgia. That's lit. But yeah, enough about that. Obviously you
How was
guys are
your
not.
week?
Oh well, no, I mean it was I did a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Like as you know, I put together a gun. I just put it together. I'm into building things. That's always been my thing. Like I used to work on cars, and so I wanted to see if I can do it, and it was really interesting. It was fun. So I did it just to go and be. I want to be one of those older men when I get older to go out and like just that'll be my fun Sunday thing to do.
Hit
Like
the
you know what I'm saying?
range.
Hit the
Right.
range. That's what I want to do. So I'm gearing up. I'm getting salt and pepper around here. I'm getting older, so I gotta start. Because golfing is not
A
for me.
silver fox.
Yeah, there you go. Because
All right.
golfing is never gonna be for me. That's never gonna be my thing ever. I
I
tried.
actually love golfing, but I like golfing at Top Golf. Like that's my thing. I don't know if
What's
it's the
up, man?
drinks
Top
and the food,
Top
but
Golf is the Top Golf is the Hennessy of the new parties.
okay.
I will
Okay.
listen. So look, I legit somebody hit me up was like, "Yo, you can do Top Golf," and I was like, "Well, I've never been, so let me Google
It's
it
so
and see
much
the
fun.
pricing. It's so expensive. It's
Oh
$50
yeah.
an hour.
Oh yeah.
I don't like golf that
Now
much.
in my
That's not
defense,
including liquor or nothing.
right. Well, in my defense, we had, the hookup, so we didn't pay for anything. We just paid for the drinks. So I don't know. But
Well, it's expensive.
if my plug is watching, we coming back. So thank you.
Okay. So I wanted to obviously you guys aren't here just for us. I'm sure we have some trusty listeners that are here, but we also have, this is a collaboration with the CSJ a department within Georgetown University, and we have some dope AF guests. So I just want to be able to bring them in. Suki, you wanna start with the introductions? You want to start with
Um
bringing them in?
okay, so are we doing housekeeping first or are
Oh, you
we
know what? You're absolutely right. My bad. I'm so amped to get the guests on. I
No,
really want to.
it's all good. It's
My
all
bad.
good.
My
So
bad.
it's okay. So first things first, with another Black podcast, you know that we value all Black lives, whether you are a man, woman, gay, lesbian, trans, bi, I don't care. All Black lives matter here all the time. That's our thing, not for show, but for real, for real. So we love y'all, and we want y'all to be safe, stay safe, wear your mask. I guess we need to add that to our housekeeping because
Definitely wear your mask.
times have
People ain't wearing their
changed.
mask. They
Right.
definitely
Please
wearing
wear
their
your
mask.
mask. I mean, even when y'all at the little day party, find something that matches. Don't do hookah. I would say stay away from that. It's not
Not the
safe
little
right
day
now.
party.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are out here bugging out, and that's okay. It's no judgment. I still love you anyway. I also wanted to give a shout out to unmeasured.com. And so that's un-measured.com. And so they have teamed up with Rise Against Hunger to help families in need to provide them with Thanksgiving meals. So if you head to the website and donate $2 per ticket, your raffle ticket will give you a chance to win $100 of unmeasured products and shipping. And the winner will be announced on November 21st on our 6-month anniversary for the company. So Unmeasured has spices. Everybody's canceled adobo, so you can head on over to that Black-owned company and support them. I have purchased so many things from them. Shout outs to Chef Ray Graham. He's amazing, Black owned business, wonderful, amazing Black man who also hosts Black and Live, that Another Black podcast is a part of. And it's an amazing show. It's like the Black Home Shopping Network. So I love it. We get to meet so many different business owners from across the country. So be sure to check that out as well. But head to unmeasured.com, enter the raffle, and all proceeds go to Rise Against Hunger. So shout outs to them.
Wah,
Thank
wah, wah,
you.
wah. Big up to them. So, without further ado, let's start bringing these guests in, man.
Right.
I really want to bring them in. So you do like we discussed, you do two, and then I'll do two. So you can
Okay.
start with your guess.
Oh, I was going to tell you to start with your two.
No, no, you got yours. I mean, I can do mine. Mine is
Yeah.
mine. I love doing the introductions. So you gonna just switch up after all this planning we've done did.
No,
You
no,
want me to do
no.
mine
I
first?
apologize. I was trying to pull up the bios, but it's not letting me pull them up. Like,
I'm sorry. If you guys don't understand how much Suki is the equivalent to a 90-year-old woman when it comes to technology, not to sound ageist or anything, to say old people don't know technology, but
cause
this old
y'all
person,
90-year-olds are getting busy on the Tinder. I see you.
but I'll just tell you this though. When it comes to technology, it's like I don't know what happens. But we can start. I'll start with my bio. All right. So with this next guest, just she received her bachelor's degree in journalism and mass communication with a concentration in public relations from the North Carolina A&T State University. This person has a career, and she started her career in education back in 2008 in the Arlington Public School System, where she served as an instructional assistant in the multi-intervention program for autism. Her experiences in this role led her to further her education, and in 2016, she received her Master's of Education degree in school counseling from Marymount University. And that same year, she began her career in counseling at Yorktown High School, also in Arlington Public Schools. She is a nationally certified counselor and recently completed an endorsement in administration and supervision from pre-K to 12 through Longwood University. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Juanice Jenkins.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey guys.
How you doing? How you doing?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we're gonna bring in the next person. The next person hails from East St. Louis, Illinois. This woman brings more than 10 years of experience as an award-winning teacher, school principal, and instructional expert. Her career in education began in New Orleans, where she moved after Hurricane Katrina to become a founding teacher and eventually 7th and 9th grade principal at KIPP Central City Academy. Her extraordinary success with students earned her the 2011 Fishman Prize, a $25,000 award given annually to just 4 teachers nationwide. She holds a BA in English and Modern Foreign Languages from the Jackson State University, a MA in Organizational Leadership from Teachers College at Columbia University, and a Master's in Education Policy and Management from the Howard Graduate School of Education. She is currently a Chief Program Officer at Navigator. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Whitney Henderson.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey.
Your turn, Suki.
So I told you I can't see them. So
you can't see them?
I can't see the bios. So you gonna have to introduce. And you're so good at that. So I want you to live in your ministry. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So now I gotta see. I planned for,
I know. I'm sorry.
Suki. No, it's
this
okay.
Is a part of being an educator. Things happen, so you gotta lean on your team.
The thing is, and
you
know what? You are absolutely right. The thing is, I did not sign up to be an educator. But you know what? Let's keep it going. I'm gonna start. Excuse me, guys, because I practice those. But we're gonna start. This next person, a Detroit-born social worker and producer, working out of Brooklyn with the House of Ease. He uses his very skilled set of coordinate peace and order to ensure continued prosperity and joy throughout the house, numerous projects and relations. When this gentleman is not channeling energies for the purpose of film and content production, he is using his abilities as a social worker in supportive housing and crisis intervention. At 16, with 16-year his 16-year career in social services has yielded experiences in crisis intervention training with law enforcement, foster care, shelter management, community intervention, meditation, psychiatric assessment and treatment, and families psychoeducation services. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Aaron Milton.
Hey, everybody.
Woo, that's a dangerous black man. Go on.
Man, y'all got me stressing over here. Oh my God.
Baby, those accolades is long. Let me see.
Hey, they had to be for me to be here. So thank y'all.
I'm trying to get the last one. Don't worry, guys. Okay. And last but certainly not least, and I'm sorry if I'm trying to get this one the best I can. This woman formed a group, a collective. I'll call it a Black collective called House of Ease, based out of Brooklyn, New York. In 2017. It was started by her. I don't want to say her name yet. It started over cocktails of gin. The House of Ease is a Brooklyn and Los Angeles-based art community and production house. They are storytellers who have deep reverence and irreverence for dedication to creating media and experiences that reflect our voices, taste, and time. Our work exists across ranges of genres and explores challenging topics with lightheartedness and mindfulness, humor, and yes, ease. They offer a plethora of services from media and event production and distribution, educational consultation for youth, teens, and adults, wellness and mindfulness training and workshops, and online marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Shannon Joy Sherd. Uh-oh, I don't know where she went. I didn't do that. She's on here, but let's give it up for her. She's not somewhere. Let's give it up for her. Let's give it up for her. Oh my goodness, Suki! Oh my goodness, you owe me one because that was a lot.
Welcome to the world of education, my love.
I'm not in education.
This is how it goes down.
So thank you for all of y'all to get this time to share your time with us. Like I said in the email yesterday, this crazy Zoom filled world that we're going in because of COVID and other things. So we really, Suki and I really appreciate it. So that we having some disconnect issues with Shannon, so she'll probably join in a second. And if she's listening, just tell her to text us if she hasn't. Oh, there she is. Boom. There you go. Hey, can you see us?
It looks like it's there. She is.
Oh, can she? It looks like. Can y'all see me? Are we having difficulties with internet?
See everybody.
Okay. I just want to make sure Shannon, do you see us? Do you hear us? Everything good?
I see everybody. Okay.
Okay,
Shannon
cool.
looks frozen. She'll come back.
She looks frozen. She'll come back. It's all good. But anyway, again, on behalf of Suki and I, Another Black Podcast, we truly thank you guys for giving us your time. I know time is very important. At least I think time is important, and you guys can be doing anything else. So we really appreciate it. So without further ado, we want to get right into the fun stuff. And the first thing is, we typically do a clip, but why not? We couldn't find anything that was gonna be we wanted to find something funny, but not like something that could be engaging for everybody. So we came across a few things. And one of the things that we came across is called What the F Emails, or WTF emails. And it was a funny email that was passed to a teacher that's online. So we wanted to share it with you guys. Suki is going to read it. I'll pull it up.
Thank you.
and then we can speak on it. So give me a second while I do the screen share and find this dope thing. Let me see. Here it is right here. Give me a second, y'all. There we go. Okay. So boom. Here it is. Let me know if you guys can see it. And there you go. You can see it. So Suki, can you read that, please?
Yes. Hello, all. Unfortunately, I have to reschedule the exam and I will have to cancel class on Thursday. Against my best wishes, I have been shot and I'm being treated in the ER. I also have COVID and the divorce is getting messy. Office hours are still 11 to 12 on Monday and Wednesday with your TA. If I'm alive, the exam will be moved to Monday of next week. Keep reviewing the text and remember to look over your IDs. Best, Professor Wilson. Shout outs to Professor Wilson.
Shout out to Professor Wilson. But before we go on, do y'all remember getting those emails? I don't know if y'all had Blackboard or whatever, but getting them emails and y'all didn't have to go into class. That was like the best feeling ever. Like in college. Oh my gosh, it was the best.
You get to stay at the calf a little bit longer.
So just a little bit longer. But that was actually a real email that went out. It just went viral. He literally got shot and got tested had to do the whole COVID thing. So I think that was funny and a good icebreaker. But that was just to break the ice. I really want to get into the next thing. And Suki, you could pick somebody. The question is, with this day and age with COVID and all these crazy things that's happening, us having to be home more and having virtual podcasts now. What's your craziest COVID story during quarantine? Now surrounding your career in education, whether it's Zoom or not, like party in the club and that, man, crazy.
I'm gonna start with Aaron. I'm gonna let Aaron go first.
Ooh, okay. My craziest COVID story. Oh shit. What is that?
if you need some time, it's cool. If you need some time, we can some time.
What do most students say on the Zoom? Circle around and come back to me.
Circle around. I would say the craziest COVID story is that I'm in New York. And New York was like a ghost town for a period of time. And in Manhattan, it was especially like empty, blank. so essentially my craziest story was being able to skateboard right down the middle of Broadway.
Wow.
It's like it's essentially just like no traffic. You could just do whatever you wanted to. It was like ghost town. So
I was giving you
lit.
I Am Legend vibes.
Exactly. It was post-apocalyptic.
What about you, Juanice?
Oh, I would say just with knowing the population that I work with, it put it into major perspective in the spring. And I didn't get this directly, but it was shared with me. But one of the other counselors at my school got an email from a parent and said, we won't be participating in the rest of the school year. We've gone to our island to quarantine.
Oh, well, look at God.
Everybody was like, cool. That's what's up.
Wow.
See you next year. Yeah.
What about you, Whitney?
So I'm in New Orleans, and New Orleans is just a funny place, crazy place, period. But I feel like right around the start of the pandemic, we shut down Bourbon Street. And Bourbon Street is, the mecca for anybody coming to New Orleans. And later on, our mayor was just like, and there's going to be like no alcohol sales, like all the bars are closed and all the things. And you guys know that if you work in education, like you look forward to the happy hours, you look forward to all the things. So it was like prohibition. And the ways in which people were getting creative, I'm talking about opening up your trunk and like having like happy hours, like pulling up on the corner. It was insane.
That's college.
Super innovative, exactly, like in college. It has been cool, but that definitely was funny just to see how creative people get around. Okay, one door shut, another one opens. Basically.
Right. We're gonna find a way to drink, huh? What about you, Shannon? Can she hear us? I don't think she can.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
I'm gonna need to know what the question is, though. I think I kind of get what it was, but
what was your craziest story, like COVID story, during quarantine, and it could be surrounding like your career, or it could be something personal.
Craziest story. Probably the process to enter Jamaica responsibly during quarantine.
Which was you guys worked on a project, right?
I went there to get my yoga teacher training in the middle of the pandemic, which was an incredibly extensive administrative kind of nightmare of a process, but was definitely worth it. But yeah, it was definitely landing in Jamaica, standing in line for 2.5 hours to enter the country before even touching my luggage or anything. And like being like grilled by the Jamaican military, who was like both very intense and also very attractive, but also I felt crazy because like I don't like military, like everyone. And I'm just like, this is both like a nightmare, but also like not. So
Okay. Well, that's kind of a slight flex. It's funny. I saw somebody going to like somebody I know from where I'm from originally, Buffalo. Constantly was in Jamaica, and she's into yoga and different types of yoga. She's a yoga instructor, and I was like, apparently that is like one of the meccas for yoga, because either that she just liked to party in Jamaica, but like literally every other week it seemed like she was either back in Jamaica or back home or back in Jamaica. So that's what's up, though. I mean, even though I'm glad you made it through and didn't have no issues or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be interviewed by like health officials. You have to get like your temperature taken at the airport. It was like they have to know where you are. They call the people that you say you're staying with to check that you don't have COVID symptoms. They like it was like very intense. They have to know exactly where you are at all times. So it was really extensive. But also, yes, Jamaica is a hot hub for like yoga and wellness retreats, actually. Lots of wellness hostels and hotels. Yeah.
I definitely need to go get well.
Yeah.
Suki, what's your craziest quarantine thing based around? Come on now.
So I saw saw someone walk across the Zoom call in their lingerie. I don't know what was going on or like what's happening, but I think that people often forget to mute. And they forget to sometimes turn their camera off. I did see that video of the one teacher that was on a meeting and she used the restroom while she was on the Zoom call. And then I also was in a PD, like, which is a professional development meeting on Zoom, and someone was presenting, and someone got a phone call, and they were talking on the phone, and they were unmuted, and so they were like, "What are you doing?" Like the person was like, "What are you doing?" They were like, "Oh, I'm just in a meeting, pretending to listen to this bullshit." Like, but they were unmuted. So we were like, hey, hello. Like everybody was texting and calling, and she's just like talking. It was quite interesting. So yeah.
Well, you guys have real stories. My only thing is I remember like in the beginning when I had flew back home, like right when we shut down and we shut down like all the gambling facilities in Maryland. And I was like, I'm gonna go back and like assist and help and do the school teaching for my daughter because her mother still had to work. And so I was like kind of getting on the roll of it and everything, and showing her because my daughter is not, she's 7. So her typing is that it's equivalent to, like I say, like what is it, like a mechanic typing
like
your order up. Like, all right, so what you got the oil. Like that's how my daughter types. She's young, so I'm getting her, she's getting in the swing of things, and I had stepped away for a second. I think I went in the kitchen or whatever, and I heard like it was towards their little break. They get like a 5-minute break because kids can't, you guys know, kids can't sit for that long in front of a camera. Like it just can't, and the computer, it can't do it. And so it was the break time. So I was in the kitchen, and then I think I went into another room, and I heard like little bags opening it. And then I heard a little hands going in the bag, and you hear a little mouth eating chips. Now, mind you, this is like 10 in the morning, right? She decided she didn't want she didn't want her normal bagel and cream, and like she loves bagel and cream cheese or cereal. She didn't want any of that. She just wanted water for that morning. And so I was like, Harlan, what are you doing? Why are you eating chips? Why are you eating Doritos at 10 in the morning? She was like, well, the teacher told me I can get a light snack. I was like, first of all, your teacher said you can get a snack, but you still talk to your parent. Are you kidding me? So that was probably the funniest thing. Based around this thing, I got tons of stories, but based around keeping it light to what we were talking about, that was the funniest thing I would have to say. I got a ton of other ones, but yeah. Suki, did you pull up the questions? Because I want to get into some of these fun questions that our dope listeners had DM'd us.
I do. Do you want me to just go at random, like any of them, or?
Yeah, go at random. You can do that, and I will try to pull them up, and so they can see them, so the listeners can see them. So just throw out the number, and then I'll copy and paste it.
I'm gonna go with number 3.
Okay.
And it'll probably be a 2-part question. But I'm gonna have I'm gonna ask the initial question. So the first, which is number 3, it says, do you believe that it is too early to send students back to school right now? And does your institution have like a reopening plan? And like, what does that look like? If you can share.
Who wants to go first, guys?
I'm going to go last.
Whitney, how about you go?
Sure. Again, I while I don't work like in schools directly, the work that we do influences schools. We do a lot of decision making with schools. I'm torn between this because it's such a good question. I think my instinct says yes, it is. It is too soon. It's too early, and part of the reason why is because I think we're learning so much about the virus itself still 7 months in, and I feel that what has come out recently about transmission rates and like the fact that we're up against flu season, and they're saying that the spike is like amongst us. I just think there's so much that we don't understand about transmission still. We're still talking about whether or not the neck gaiters, like whether or not those are effective, whether or not a mask with a filter is effective. But when it comes to schools, the one thing that strikes me about schools is in New Orleans, we are fortunate because after Katrina, the majority of our schools got redone. However, there are still some really old schools in our country where they have not updated their HVAC systems. They have windows that do not work, that do not open. And so kids aren't getting fresh air, fresh ventilation. And on top of that, I know that there are schools where there are leaders in positions who truly just don't care about children at all. And so knowing that, I know that they don't have policies in place that are really making sure that, you know, kids are transitioning the right way, that kids, you know, have the space that they need to be able to, you know, be at ease, whether or not they are going to get this virus or not. So in short, you know, my answer is, I think it's too soon. I do see a case where I'm just like, but kids got to be learning though at the end of the day. And I just wish that we took this 7 months to really think effectively about how we can make this, you know, how we can optimize the learning, but in a very safe way, in a cautious way.
Right. Juanice, let me ask you something. Being a counselor, especially in your school district, and what are some of the things that you're like having to deal with? And also, and please could answer that question as well. Is it too soon? You know, give us your insight on that.
For me, the hardest part is connecting and like being able to connect with my students. This year I have 9th graders, and it's like, I don't know you and you don't know me, and I'm hearing stuff about you, but I can't, right? Like, it's like, I need to feel your energy and you need to feel mine. And until we get that space, like, that's what's been most difficult. And it's just like looking at them through a screen, getting them to turn their cameras on to be like, look at me. I need to see you. That's been the worst part of all of this. However, I'm in a school of 2,300 kids. No, I don't want to be in a building with y'all. Like, I mean, and it's just, that's what it is, because how, like, there's no logistic plan really suits that to be able for it to be safe. Again, being in a counseling position is not even just a classroom, but do I want a kid in my office? I don't have an open window. I don't have, you know, so it's, again, while I want to be there with you, I can't see how effectively we can make it happen. We do have like the plan, we're kind of phasing students in, starting as early as November 4th.
Oh, wow.
First wave of kids are going in November 4th. And that's like students that need like direct special ed, one-on-one assistance, things like that, and pre-K through 2nd grade. 3rd through 5th grade starts November 14th. And then
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You said the pre-K to the 2nd grade. When do they go in?
November 4th.
They're the nastiest. You see how them kids wear the mask?
Yeah,
it's the worst.
But at least they got the whole building to be nasty. They can be spread out a little bit. True. You know, but it's and then the remainder of us are expected to go back in January. What that will look like, I don't know. And I'm nervous. I'm honestly nervous because, and they've asked the teachers, what do you want to do? How, you know, what's best for you? I actually won't be going back just because I care for my mother and my aunt. So I just don't want to risk them. But again, it's like it's a bittersweet feeling because I want to be able to protect my family for sure, but I do want to be in the space with my kids. So it's tricky.
Oh my goodness. House of Ease cohorts. I know not that you guys are directly with education, unless you guys have something going on right now. Do you guys how is it working for you guys? Like, do you have any projects currently based on, I know COVID's are y'all doing Zoom things? Like, are you guys doing anything right now?
So I'm doing a writing workshop right now for 8th graders who are based in LA. And it's all on Zoom. I'm about 3 weeks into it now. It's difficult because different personality types take to this type of learning differently, right? And I can't be frustrated or short with them because some people just, like some of the students do not respond to this online education. I think they really do need that energy in person. But I can't be there in person right now. So, and I also really want to share what I have to teach. I do think it is too early to send students back responsibly. And I think that after Halloween, we're all going to see a spike in numbers. So I'm kind of concerned about how that's going to impact everything.
Right. It's so interesting because I, as a parent, I keep saying that, like, I don't want, like, what do you do? Like, if this is your, like, you guys are in this field, this is part of your bread and butter, you get money off of this. So if the governor of your state or whatever happens, the superintendent of your school intendant said, no more of this, I'm over it, you guys have to come in, what will you do? Like, do you guys come in?
I have contemplated creating an OnlyFans.
Okay, all right. So OnlyFans for you,
that's
Suki.
where
Okay,
I'm at right now.
That's
I will say this, and I mean that all of this fun. That's me. I mean, Aaron, you and I have been colleagues at one point in time.
I know you, boo. I know you.
But,
oh my gosh, Suki.
But to be honest with you, it's too early to send kids back. It's way too early, and the messages from state and local government, federal government, like, it's mixed, and people, I think, are using it like the Bible, kind of how people do at church and interpret it to be what they want it to be. Because I legit sat in a Zoom call where they're like, the governor said he wants us to go back. I was like, my love, beloved, sweetheart, baby, that's not what he said. That is not, like, you're trying to say that to us, you know what I mean, to make us feel like our back is against the wall. But a lot of teachers have just said, we're taking leave, I'm not coming back. People have, really began to dive deep into their own businesses and things like that. So
absolutely,
it's going a whole other direction where people are like, if they tell me that I have to go back, I'm not going. Like, I've had people where we've had private conversations and they're like, I love the kids, I love what we do, but with my infant child or my toddler or like my sick, partner or family member, whatever, I cannot run that risk of having them contract the virus because I'm around all of these kids.
Right.
I know that people think if we wear a mask, it's safe and what have you, but it really isn't. I too have ninth graders, Juanise, so virtual hugs on you, sis, because I feel my seniors have graduated, and I am experiencing like empty nest syndrome right now. I'm like, I miss my kids because it was familiar, it was comfortable, and we like rocked out for the last part of the school year. With the whole changes, like, my kids really adapted, so like they are so resilient. So shout outs to class of 2020 because they did the damn thing to make their way on up out of there. I'm sad that they missed out on prom and all their other rites of passage, but my kids like really rocked out and like their spirits were super high despite the circumstances. But a lot of the kids now, they're just like, they're really uncertain. And it doesn't help that there's other things going on, like election and racism and all this other stuff. Like, our kids are having like real conversations with us right now about things that they're worried about on top of a pandemic. So
yes, it's a different upbringing in this day and age for kids. I will give them that. So yeah,
and they're so woke. Like, they know. I had a sixth grader. I asked them because I'm also the music teacher right now. So I asked them, I said, hey guys, on Zoom, I was like, who's coming back to school? And we're a boarding institution. I don't know if I mentioned that. So we're a boarding school. And so I was like, hey, who's coming back? I had a sixth grader tell me, you won't make me your guinea pig to figure out if this works out or not. He was like, so I will be continuing my instruction virtually. Well, he said asynchronous learning. I said, go on.
What's up with that? Like, what's up with these? All right, I don't want to get into that. That's a whole other thing with these kids. These kids are different.
I say that to say, like, sixth grade, like you're a conspiracy thing. Like, you're not gonna make me your guinea pig. He was like, you won't do that to me. And he was like, respectfully, miss, like, respectfully. So I was here from him. I got my black boy joy from him. I was like, and I couldn't be like, go off, boo. But I was like, whatever works for your family, guys, I support it. Do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's real.
I'm gonna pull up a question this time, guys.
Okay.
This is for the House of Ease people. I'm gonna pull this up and add it to the banner. So the question for you guys: how has House of Ease done outreach or service their designated populations?
So one big event that we had a virtual Juneteenth event.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, it was our first one. We pulled together and made it happen with all of our magical selves and personalities. And we had, I think, for the virtual, it was the one day we had how many people was it, Shannon? Like 300 people.
300 people tuned in. Yeah.
Nice.
Throughout the entire day. So we had yoga.
beautiful.
We had panels on Black land acquisition. We had a panel on food sovereignty.
Arts, the Black Arts and Culture panel with Emily Douglas, which was great.
So just bringing together different people from across the country and across the world to talk about different things that are important, like for the Black community.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah, it's really cool, and all the videos are still up on Crowdcast and on our website as well. If anybody wants to like tune in and catch what we did.
We'll definitely get all your information, get all the information so you can plug it before we leave out so people can see that. I personally grew up I thought it was a normal thing, hearing about Juneteenth. That was a normalcy in Buffalo. So when I first kind of came out here in college and would hear people I was like, yo, what are y'all doing for Juneteenth? And they'd be like, what? That wasn't really a known thing, at least when the people I asked. I'm not going to say.
That was me. I had no idea about it until 3 years ago.
Yeah. So I would say Juneteenth, where I'm from, that's what you did in June, obviously. And it was a popping thing. And obviously, I'm the Mr. Fun Fact of Buffalo, New York. Buffalo had it has one of the biggest Juneteenth festivals in the United States of America, number 3 or something. So growing up in it, listening to the reggae music, pulling up, getting the CDs, getting the incense and getting all the different things, the little trinkets and stuff, the little woke trinket, all that kind of stuff, was a normalcy when I was in 7th grade. It was just being around all Black people, and it was just so dope. So I love to see that. First of all, I love to see that Juneteenth is now getting bigger, even though people had to die for now it to get, a national, notoriety, at least on TV, I should say. But I do love to see Black people doing it, and big up to y'all for doing virtual. I know they did something in Buffalo like that, but I don't know how big it was. Let me ask you this: how hard was it virtually to pull something like that together? How many months, weeks? How did y'all pull that together?
We managed to pull that together in 2 weeks. And 2, 3.
You're right. No, you're right.
2.5 weeks. We were talking about it, but honestly, not much work was done before that 2.5 week mark. And we all Black people, so coordinating is we're there, we're on 100%, but
right.
It took a while to get there. But
right.
Yeah, it was I would say it was tricky, but once it all happened, it was so beautiful. And it was so beautiful because it was from 20, 30-year-olds, and then we had Black elders. So we had people who were 70, 80 years old and share their gifts and share their knowledge about their experiences. So yeah, so it was a really, really great event.
And that, again, like I said, I love Juneteenth. So excuse me, Suki, you can stop me anytime. Y'all can stop me, and we can do another question. But hearing that's another thing, and I think that our the 6th graders, that's the woke 6th graders or the woke 7th graders, that's learned. But I think a lot of that stuff is digitally learned. And I don't mean from a person that's 90 years old or 80 years old on a Zoom call. I think it's through them just learning, seeing things online. They hear it or they read it and they think they become woke. Not to negate that young person's wokeness, but I'm saying it's nothing like growing up and seeing a grandparent or a grandmother or a grandfather actually give you some knowledge, learn you something of how it used to be or how, and that's something that I think that now because of how there's a disconnect between a few, like one generation, like millennials, because now we becoming the old people. We getting up there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Millennials getting up there. We getting up there. So like it's a disconnect from the millennials and then the generation that's now, but after us, what is that? The Y, I think.
Are they Y? I think they're. Are they Y?
Them.
It's whatever them is, whatever them people is, them, like them. And like that disconnect. And so, and obviously grandparents are getting younger and so it's just different, but I really do think that kind of knowledge, although virtually, needs to be passed down because I learned so much from my grandparents and just in the community of being from Buffalo, New York, and seeing Black people in all the Blackness. And like to me, Juneteenth is incense, reggae music, good soul food, anything fried. There are a few other vendors like Chinese vendors, they jump on it a little bit, but like all type of
money.
African, they want their money. They gonna get their bread somewhere. But like that's what it is to me. So like, you know,
I do want to add Juneteenth is about rest as well, because Black men and women and children carry a burden of a lot of so many different things. We carry the burden of so many different things. So when I listed my Juneteenth post for Instagram, I told people to make sure that while you're supporting Black businesses, you're celebrating, you're doing all of these amazing things, learning about your history, be sure to have rest.
Yeah.
Because we carry the burden for so much. You know what I mean? We always have to explain something. We always have to discuss something, like make it make sense, you know, so rest, you know what I mean? And give thanks and gratitude to all the people that have come before us to get us to where we are, you know, presently
Absolutely. Today. That was a good question. I'm sorry, we kind of deviated to some other things. Suki, you want to pick another one?
Yes, I'm actually gonna go with number 11.
All right, I'm gonna pull that up, and while you doing that, like, let's big up Suki for stealing the sunlight from everybody else. That's kind of scheming on you, God, man. Mad as hell, I don't got that little light.
That's so beautiful.
I knew I should have bought a ring light. Hold on one second.
This is that natural light. You know, I had to open the curtains because I have my uncle's plant who passed away. So I'm trying to make sure that it's living and I'm taking good care of it. So it's doing the damn thing over here in the window. So
well, big up to the sunlight. You stole it from all of us. I need some more. I need to open something around here.
All right. So before we get to this question, I do want to shout out my work bro. I saw that he's in the comments, Darius Thompson, who also has a show called No Goofy Shit. So please make sure that y'all tune into that. But I'm sure that this question will resonate with him when he sees it. So Suki often uses, and I do not mean to talk in third person. I know that sounds crazy. I'm not crazy. But Suki often uses the phrase capable but not compensated. And I use that all the time, and I'll explain that in a minute. But how has your job supported your concerns or questions with returning? And can you offer insight about your salary in comparison to your job responsibilities? I know that's like a layered question. So when I say capable but not compensated, I feel like in the education field and social services, we're often doing more than what we signed up for. So when we have the other duties assigned, we really like adhere to that. Like that's a real thing, because a lot of us are also coaches, we're advisors for other clubs and organizations. We sit on other panels for reopening plans, or, you know, to support teachers or to educate teachers and provide professional development. So I often feel like I am putting out, and this is just, you know, my opinion, I'm putting out so much sometimes, and I am capable and I'm willing to support and collaborate, but I often feel like it doesn't match up to the compensation. So I don't know if anybody wants to take this question. Whitney, you know, I'm your fangirl, or one of you ladies. You know,
Juanice hit the church usher.
Yeah, I saw the finger go up, so I'm gonna let her.
Might I have something to say?
Yes.
No. It's interesting because, again, school counselors have been deemed in a certain role just over time. Even just kind of in our pre-discussion, we talked about guidance counselor versus school counselor. We're school counselors now because we do provide a comprehensive program to the school. We're not just guiding people along. And in my school, we really work directly with administration. So often we feel like it's like I always call us the command center, where any and everything comes through us. Kids come to us when they have issues with teachers. Parents come to us. Admin includes us in counseling through discipline. It's so many pieces. And we often have talked about, because it's like we're on the same pay scale as teachers, which is fine. However, we have to have a master's to do our job. We have to be able to manage a risk assessment and, child protective service situations. So we take on a lot of the heavy work that other people want to pass along, and that's what we signed up for. And we also tend to work through the summer. We have days where we come in to get the schedules ready, do all of that back work and register students. So it's weird because, and then I'm a 504 case carrier, I'm in IEPs. So it's so many other things that we're responsible for outside of what teachers are responsible for. So it kind of feels like we should be on our own pay scale, not quite administrators, because I don't want you to give me a cell phone. I don't want that. But
I feel you on that one.
But at the same time, it's like, I'm mitigating a lot of things for people so that your job is a little bit easier. So it is difficult in that sense. So no, I don't feel like I'm compensated properly, but I'm grateful to be in a school system that does pay well. So, it's a balance, but.
Okay. Has
Who
your
next?
job supported your concerns and questions, Juanice, with returning to campus? Is everything you feel like they're answering your questions pretty good and all of that?
My personal questions to the people I speak directly to, yes, I'll say that. The communication has been a little scattered of what the expectations are. And honestly, even though I told you all that November 4th date, they literally just gave us that couple days ago. It came out this week. It was supposed to be October 29th.
Okay.
So it's to switch up like that on people is, so it's just the communication hasn't been as clear and intentional and, and direct and specific as it should be. But I do feel like I said, I did get approved to be able to stay out, and, it was an easy process in the sense of me providing documentation and things like that. But, it still is kind of it could be better, but it's not horrible, I guess.
Okay. Whitney, did you want to take this?
Yeah, I add something to it. Something that I always tell, teachers and my friends is just know your worth and add tax, period. The one thing that when I think about teachers, to your point, Juanice, teachers are being everything that they can be for their students. There were times when, kids would come in and I'm just come here, let me brush your hair up a little bit. Let me, put it in a ponytail a little bit. I know that you haven't had much to eat today. So here's my little snack drawer. Go get what you need. Go pamper yourself, lotion yourself up, do everything you need. And for things like that, I know we're not talking about that. We do that from the heart. That's care from the heart. The extra stuff that schools are doing, the one thing that I always tell people is go back to your job description. How schools, English teachers, I used to be a former English teacher, always used to say, show me your evidence. That was a common core thing at the time. You got to show your work and show evidence. Okay, when school leaders start to say that, yeah, I would love for you to do this, or I would love for you to do that, I'm looking directly at that job description and I want to see specifically, is that something that I should be doing? How can this be distributed much smarter, much better? Because what's so unfortunate about our work is education can burn you out incredibly fast. If you don't feel I'm looking at Darius, your comment in the chat box, when you don't feel supported, when you feel that you don't have a holding environment, when you feel that you don't have Black spaces like this, where you can say what's on your heart and on your mind without judgment and without punishment, it's so much that you take in, and it's an invisible tax being a Black educator constantly, the things that people don't see that again get added onto you, your psyche, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your work, intrinsically how you start to feel about the kids and the communities that you serve. And we just don't, we can't afford that, especially when we're trying to uplift ourselves and build up our communities. So I always say you got to go to the source. And if you feel that as an individual that is like grounds for punishment, if you advocate for yourself to your school principal, do it with a collective, because I guarantee you're not the only person who feels that way at your school. So definitely find space to, I love this podcast because it not only is it bridging gaps and bridging community, there are people who are like-minded and again share that experience. So find out who that is in your own space, in your own network, and then go there, with your coalition and let the people in power, which I will say that the power is actually you, because you're the ones who are face to face with the families, the kids, and so on and so forth. So like, don't underestimate that at all.
Yeah. Whitney, come to a PT at our school, please.
Big up.
When I tell you, okay, like, and this is just a sidebar. When I tell y'all that I love Black people, I really do. And
I swear to okay, I'm sorry. I just want to look, real quick. I just want to say this because listen. I was literally just looking at the 6 people on here, how Black it is, and how we all just talking our shit. Oh my God. I already took like 3 screenshots. Like y'all just didn't see it. Like I cannot wait. Like I love this. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
So I just want to say, to have this space to be able to have a safe space to piggyback off of what Whitney said, like, you need to have a safe space to be able to disclose things. Because what happens is, and I saw Darius's comment up on the screen, like, I don't feel supported. Darius and I work in the same department. We are in the student life department of our institution. So we are essentially their parents in so many words. While they are gone, they spend more time with us than they do with their own. And so the virtual learning thing has really been like crazy for them, because it's like, I don't have, Mr. So-and-so, or I don't have Mr. So-and-so. And it's like, I don't want to be home with my parents, or where they live at is not a safe environment, where they can sit and do their work. People don't think about that there are a lot of people in the house. Something kind of like what Whitney said on our private, chat where we had talked prior to us linking all together, students who have one computer and it's 5 kids in the house, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, these are things people are not thinking about, So when we are, I guess, going balls to the wall for our kids, if I'm going off in a meeting, it's on the strength of, the youth that I serve and the families that I serve. That's really, really important that they are heard and that they're advocated for, because sometimes their voices fall on deaf ears. You have people with big time salaries making decisions for, I like to call us the regular people, you know what I mean? And not really thinking about how that impacts everyone else. And even with returning, I didn't even think about our kids who are raised by their grandparents, that it might not be safe to return them home, because their grandparents are in that, range of where it's high risk for them to be exposed to everything at school and come back. But at the same time, I need my student to virtually learn. You know what I mean? Like, he's not doing well here, or she's not doing well here. I will say, though, my kids who have had the most behavioral issues are actually doing very well virtually. I don't know what's going on.
Because they're getting the bad energy from people. That's probably why.
They're doing, but you know what adults need to realize, and this is educators worldwide, if you work with children, sometimes you need to accept that you might be the trigger for a kid. Just
I was trying to, man, I used to tell my mother that all the time. They didn't believe me that goddamn teacher ain't like me. I used to tell them. The teacher ain't like me, man, I'm telling you.
But it's an ego thing. You know what I mean? Like, I had 12th grade girls. Some of my girls were connected to Darius, because they were on his modeling team, with shout out to C Couture Models. They were, phenomenal and instrumental in kind of getting my girls like to have something to work for. So some of my girls who had a lot of sass, a lot of attitude, it kind of broke them down, almost like, not hazing, but in a sense, like it humbled them a little bit. And they did so well. Like, these girls and these young men are just, what Darius does with our modeling, troupe, and they compete in the city. They are, they're amazing. And it's just that connection, like, Juanice and Whitney had mentioned, the connection, the energy, like Shannon said, those things are important. They're missing that because it makes them want to do well academically so I can be on this team. I have something to look forward to, something to work for. And a lot of them really just wanted to come back to be in their clubs and orgs, like, because that's where they get their inspiration and motivation from. And when we're not really hosting those things, because we don't have the capability to do cheer, because I was the cheerleading coach, and we don't have, it's just, this is crazy. It's
I think you hit on like two like really important points that are like always overlooked, not always, but oftentimes overlooked in education, which are individual needs and environment. So with individual needs, there are some folks who focus better when they are in their bedroom or when they're at home or in their comfortable environment. And some folks have to be in the classroom. They've got to be in a certain, space to be able to learn and be in the space where they want to learn. And they also have to have those connections because, everything is connections. Everything is that energy. And those relationships, that rapport, are oftentimes where they're going to, hold on to the person to get them the knowledge that, we need them to get and the knowledge they want to have as well. But that's but it's kind of like those are two big issues that existed within the educational system already. And now they're just showing up in a completely different way just because we're in this crazy COVID environment.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, we're gonna ask one more question, and then let's get into like the Suki scenario, and then because I just want to be mindful of everybody's time. So I'm gonna throw one more question out there. Can you provide? Because Suki was talking about senior, I said, why not throw this one out there? Can you provide insight on, if you have worked with high school seniors, what are your concerns, if any, as they transition to college? Anybody?
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
So Suki, also, my baby's graduated last year too. I know. And when you were talking about it, one thing that I remember, one of my students emailed me last spring, and she was like, I can't believe we had our last day without knowing it. And I was like,
that hurt me. I had a kid say that to me too, and I was like, damn.
And it's like, and I remember that day, like right before, like, because they told us, all right, we're going to get 2 weeks, spring break, and then we'll be back. So everybody was like, bet we got a month. We can just chill, we just thinking. And so, and then to get that news, to hear that you're not coming back at all, like all the fields, like everything. So, but with high school seniors, just in general, and what I get nervous about is, and I try to be like cognizant of it going through because they start with me 9th grade, and it's a lot of hand holding. And I tell them, I got you, no matter what, I got you. 9th grade, I'll do things for you. We can go, I'll sit with you to talk with the teacher. We can do all of that. But by 11th grade, did you email them first?
Yeah.
Did you engage that conversation? Because it's not about right now. I need to know that you're going to be good when you leave. And I tell them that all the time. Like, I need to feel good. And I remember last year I had a group of boys who, like, and again, just with the population, it's a high achieving, whatever, like very affluent group. But we have, and it's a very small minority group of students. Like, I think last year I had 120 Black kids after I just told y'all I had 2,300 kids in the entire school, right?
Wow.
So, I always work a lot with them directly, but I was just so nervous because so many of the other students were hitting November 1 deadlines. This group of Black boys was like, what you tell us to do? And I'm like, oh, I like, what is this going to look like for you? Like, I'm nervous because I've gotten you all the way to 12th grade and you asking me how to send an email, or where do I ask for a transcript? I'm nervous. And it's, and so it's that, like, sometimes I feel like a lot of these kids, that independence or that ability to operate on their own is lost a lot because so much is right there in their hands and they're able to just access and get it real quick. And if they can't get it real quick, they don't want nothing to do with it. And so that, those are my concerns. And like, that's where I'm like always pushing. I'm like, I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm not even gonna remind you about anything because you got to figure this out, because, and I would rather you mess up here before you're out.
Right.
And then I can scoop you back up and teach you, and then we can try it again. So that's always kind of like, I get nervous because it's like they act like they can't do stuff on their own. But then they rise up and they make me proud and my babies go on.
Right.
I have
That's what's up, man.
I'll be really brief because I know somebody else probably has something to say, but I think in hearing the debate last night, I don't know who said it, but they were saying that maybe it was a moderator that by 2030 something, Social Security is like depleted.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, I'm just like, yo, the kids who are going to college like next year in the next few years, there's a couple of things you got to think about. You got to think about job security. Bro, first of all, let's talk about college, period, like getting them out of college. I think that, I read earlier that Harvard's endowment, which is in the millions, billions maybe, like it's drying up. So when I think about our Black colleges and universities, man, we got to support them because like there's a real life situation where they won't have, we won't have many, they will shut their doors. So I think we got to first with the kids, my biggest concern is, will you have money to attend college? And if the answer is no, then we got to ask ourselves, which I tell us Black people all the time, we got to stop forcing college on kids too, because trade school is a very viable option. And so like,
Okay.
like working on cars, hell yeah, because the last time my alternator needed change, baby, I'm like, how much? Because I need to figure out if I can do this by myself. So right. I'm like, that's a real viable option. Construction, these things, like, what is it going to take to rebuild our country? So when I think about them going to college, I don't want them to be in debt. If that is their choice to be in college, wonderful, do it. But I really do hope that they have, the funds to do it. And then once they graduate, that they have the job security that they need to sustain themselves. Those are real life issues that, I just don't think that we talk about enough. So there certainly are a lot of concerns. And I'm hoping that, to your point, Juanise, like kids, they felt heartbreak in not being able to have prom and graduation. But the real heartbreak is knowing that, you may be unemployed for a very long time. That just breaks my heart.
Yeah. I think for our school, so I am also an Upward Bound instructor. And
Upward Bound. I'm a graduate of Upward Bound. Sorry.
Upward Bound. So shout out to them, and they made me get my mind right because I was all over the place as a teenager. But I want to say that working as an Upward Bound instructor and coordinating with my other former colleague, Millie Harris, who is also in the chat as well, who works with seniors.
What up, Millie?
She is phenomenal. Oh my God, she's a phenomenal just woman, human being, and support to our seniors. Different institutions have different setups of what they're pushing on our kids, kind of like Whitney said. Where I work at, there is a system of like, it's a college preparatory institution, so they're pushing college. While college is pushed, we're also seeing for us, that have graduated, that people who are, I want to say that I don't look down on people that didn't go to school. I don't.
Right.
Because when you think about financial freedom, they have more than what I may have.
That part. That part. Right? That part. So, that part right there.
Right.
That
right there.
So the key, what I told my Upward Boundish kids while I was instructing them, because I always have the seniors, is to think about the key to life really is not the degree per se, the piece of paper. It's A, how you treat people every day, just on a regular basis. And B, it's your financial freedom to be able to secure whatever it is that you want. So a lot of my kids initially were not looking at in-state schools in Maryland. And I was like, Maryland, one thing about Maryland, they take care of their own. You know what I mean? And they make sure that kids can go to school with a lot of grants, a lot of scholarships, a lot of things. And so you're trying to push for a Spelman, but Spelman's not giving you any money. So let's talk about like what works. Like you can still attend Morgan, which is also a HBCU, or my school, Coppin State University, which is also, you know, a HBCU, but it's in state, which is cheaper, and they're offering you some money for your program. So when I kind of kicked it to them in a different to give them a different perspective of that, I want my kids to have financial freedom, because I look at it on a bigger scale for the Black community. That's a win. You know what I mean? That we're not in debt and we're not working to pay off this debt. I wish that someone would have told me this when I was transitioning out of high school, to pick a school that was willing to give me money. Now, I didn't want to go to Rutgers. I'm from New Jersey. I didn't want to go to Montclair. I didn't want to go to any of those schools because I wanted to be around my own people. That was really important. But I do wish that somebody would have had that conversation with me about bills and what money looks like and financial aid. A lot of us that have graduated were not educated about our loans. We signed predatory loans that were private. You know what I mean? And nobody really talked to us about financial security and what that looks like post grad. You know, so a lot of us are kind of like drowning in debt, and it sucks because it's like, I want to buy my home, but there's so many things that I need to clear up first before I find my forever place, because I can't do it. So I got this beautiful piece of paper, and shout outs to me because I walked across the stage, but damn, I can't make no moves. You know, and I was very transparent with my Upward Bound students about that. Like, look at my debt. I pulled it up on the screen. Like, look at this. Is this how you want to live? This is what you want.
Look like a face.
Like,
I'm not even gonna say nothing. I was about to go.
Is this what you want? I had to drive past Chick-fil-A because I couldn't even fade it today. You know what I mean? Like that's like a real thing. So it's like, just think about that, because the key is financial freedom. And like Whitney said, I'm totally like campaigning for that. Our kids need to learn that there are more options, because our counterparts are teaching their children that there are more options. College is not the only option for our students. And I'm sorry.
Just no. Big up to all that. Like, just to piggyback off of what you said, it's my little Zoom lingo, meeting lingo. Like, I always tell this story. This is a story I always tell people, and like, Suki, you've heard it before probably, but like, when I graduated high school in 2003. That's when I couldn't remember. I graduated high school in 2003. And I remember, you know, my father is a retired educator. My mother is a retired state worker. She's a retired corrections officer. So I had a balance of just doing something, working, get a good job, or go to school. That was a balance for my parents. And I remember I wanted to go to college. Like, I always liked that look of going to college. Like, I liked the idea of getting away from these two Negroes that was getting on my nerves, my parents. Two Libras that was raised in Leo. Like, I wanted to go to college. Like, I was trying to do that, right? And so I remember one of my best friend. I remember I already got it. Did I get accepted? No, I didn't even get accepted into a college yet. But it was like senior year. Like, I was still waiting on some paperwork because I was a little shifty in high school. I'm not gonna lie. And I remember he was like, bro, so my father, he teaches trades. He want to know if, he can get us into this welding school. If you want to go, like, you should do it. It's only a few weeks. Like, he gonna get me into it. I was like, no. I turned my nose on it. I'll be clear and say that's what I did. I said, no, I'm going to college. My words, exactly. And then he was like, all right, cool. I just want to know, I'm out to do this trade school. His trade school was probably 5 weeks was welding class. So it was like 5 weeks, maybe more. I don't know, maybe 2 months. Who knows? And I started college that spring because I got sick. So I remember like graduating. Fast forward now, I'm in college. Fast forward, I graduated college, looking for a job now. Now I graduated during a recession. So there's that.
Okay, me too.
Oh wait,
that hurts.
So like now I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna get this picket fence. Now I'm a very ambitious person, so I'm gonna get my job that I want. My homeboy, through that whole time, he used that welding, got out of the welding school, had a good job, like a nice job. Then he did a year in New Orleans. I'm never gonna forget this. He was like, come down to New Orleans. Like, I'm gonna come down there. Went down to New Orleans and took an underwater welding school. He did underwater welding for a year. When I tell you, In 2009, I finally got a job, right? I finally got a job with like 401k, life insurance, like salary. Like I was working finally. Nowhere close to I just needed a diploma for the job that I got. Let's be clear. He hit me up, was like, bro, I'm gonna come back. I was like, yo, where you been? He's like, man, I've been working on a rig. This man flew me back home. Like he was like, come on, bro, you family. We flew me back home. We proceeded to blow thousands of dollars because of, and not to say that that's what it's about, but it is. It's about financial freedom. He had so much money from that class that he asked me, did I want to do with him? I was like, yeah. So like that is like one of the things that I'm never gonna forget. Like I push straight on people. I have two younger brothers. One is in college. He's in college, but I feel like he like testing the words. Like, I don't know, man. I'm probably about to be out there. And I have one brother that wants to do college, but I don't want, like Suki said, like all of you guys have mentioned, like I don't want kids to think that they have to do that. Like in the 90s, it was so pushed onto us, like go to college. And once you go to college, you get this white picket fence. Once you graduate, white picket fence, house, maybe a family, all this stuff. Dog, oh, look, everything is fine. But it's not. It's more like Sally Mae outside waiting. There's another bill. Oh, shit. I'm scared because now they did that. You know what I'm saying? It's all
only fans. Only getting crazy.
It's all these things, man. And like I really do big up people that push that. Like it's not like, and there's still people that's very old school minded to think that it's you got to go to college. You don't have to go to college because it's not for everybody, you know. And the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we can go into the Suki scenarios, is like I think that they say college is not for everybody, but I also like to say that college, the one thing college, unless you're going to school to be like a doctor, like you're like saving lives or whatever. One thing that college really helps you do is help you learn, to continue to learn. It's a big continual education. So when you get to that point in your career, when somebody is giving you some type of issue or somebody trying to learn you something, you can know how to put your issues aside and know how to learn and how to take that knowledge in and to continue to grow. That's something I always had looked at, because I can tell you this, not to negate all y'all accolades, because I don't got all that shit. I'm not negating all the accolades and stuff. And I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying, like, for me and what I do is like to be able to go into any type of situation and know how to, if somebody comes to me and say, I need you to learn how to do this, Clayton, this is what we're doing, Dolo, or whatever, I can sit back and just learn and know how to take notes and how to do all these things so I can be a better person in that thing that I need to learn. So that's what I learned from college. But you can get that in trade too, because you can learn. So anyway.
I think it's like what Aaron said. We need to make sure that we cater to all of our students and really like look at their needs and look at what it is that they do well. Highlight that. Because then they will show up in the way that we want them to show up when we are asking, like, what do you do well? When I ask kids that, they're looking at me like, bitch, what?
No,
like,
nobody ever asked me that before. Right. Nobody never cared.
And so, like, working with kids, it's like the level of humility that you have is like you really gotta, when Sweetie says tap in, you really gotta tap into your kids and ask them like, yo, what do you do well? What do you want to do? Because if college is really not for you, I don't want to spoon feed you something that is really not going to be lucrative, you know, for you. So
and I think that's like, I feel like this is a big part of like Black culture's story. Like we were a generation that was taught like everything will be okay if you just go to college. Just go to college, get your degree by any means necessary, get 15,000 loans, do whatever you got to do on the side, just make it happen, get your piece of paper. Right. And it's like,
piece of paper
and we got the
work. I can't pay this off.
Listen, exactly. Right. It's like can't go out, can't actually live outside of your job and your work,
my
you
gosh.
know? So it's like, but the thing is, it's kind of like that was a phase we had to go through to get to where we are. To know that something that we weren't asked is something we need to ask our kids and the next generation, which is like, what do you want? What do you need? And then also to look back at like the basics of life, which are, all right, you got land, you got some money in the bank, you got some connections, are those basics together? because you can get a job, you can always work, you probably will always work, but what are you going home to? What can you give your kids? You can keep spinning the wheel, but like, is somebody else spinning it and you're just on it? Mm-hmm. So, you know, so now we're at a space where we have so much more power and knowledge. So it's like taking that and reminding like our kids, the people like behind us, like, you have this, you have these abilities. You know, use your resources and know that you have options, because you do have options.
Right.
Yep.
Well, shit, that's dope.
Y'all are
we
fire.
are on fire, like on fire. I'm loving it.
I feel
So
like
we
have
are
the right guests. Like, we have the perfect guests for this.
Absolutely.
And I just want to reiterate and like give hella thanks to you guys for taking time out of your day. I know that you guys do a lot. But the fact that y'all are just humble, y'all have crazy accolades, right? Like, y'all are amazing people, but the fact that y'all are so down to earth and easy to talk to. Whitney and I have been friends through Instagram, and just, you are truly an inspiration, you know, for a Black woman. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate and value you, and thank you for, like, you know, taking the time to be a part of this, because you know. And for everybody else, you know, likewise, Aaron and I, we've worked together. Shannon, you know, we spent many a New Year's Eve parties together and things like that. You guys are phenomenal, and Juan needs to connect with you as well. Y'all are phenomenal human beings. So even if your institution may not have told you in the last staff meeting or whatever, like, we appreciate y'all, and like, we really, really do value you guys and what you have to bring to the table here this afternoon. So thank you.
Thank y'all.
Right.
Thank you.
But before y'all go, I still got to do Suki scenario, because that is something. So listen,
we're going to end on a light note.
On a light note. This has nothing to do with education. All right.
Nope.
This next one. So if y'all don't want to answer, y'all don't have to. Suki, we're only gonna do one, because we at the 1 hour 26-minute mark, and I want to be respectful for our guests and listeners' time. So I'll let you pick one.
Whichever one you want to pick.
Oh my God!
I like
nothing.
When you pick them. I like when you pick them. So for anybody who has never listened,
I'm sorry, all of our listeners and everything. My sister is asking me a question now. Like, we're not doing it live. Yes, Karshan. I don't have your remote. I didn't touch the remote. I did not turn on the TV.
So
I'm not a loser remote. Sorry,
Karshan
guys.
makes the best meatballs. Like,
stop talking about the meatballs.
I don't care. That's me.
All right, look.
But also, to get back to Suki scenarios, that's something that we do every show. And what it is listeners send in questions, and they ask us to respond. So it could be about anything. If you choose not to respond, by all means, we respect you, and you don't have to.
I don't know which one I want to do. I'm gonna do this one. Because why not?
Okay, pull it up.
I'm gonna do it. We had two. Okay, it's all good.
We always have another show, baby. We got more.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to get like the listeners and the guests to really get into this one, but no worries. I'm gonna pull it up. Give me a second. I think this is it. Boom. Do y'all see it?
Perfect. Loading. Okay.
All right.
So I live at home with my parents, and I'm 35. I'm living at home to get ahead on loans. Other date from college, and eventually, I plan to buy a home. Every woman or man I come in contact with to potentially date tells me good luck with that and tends to ghost me or cut. I guess she meant cut me off. Should I get an apartment?
No.
No.
Get your money together.
Please, okay?
I would like to.
Yeah. Those ain't the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Are you dating yet?
So as a person that's like right there, like going through the home buying process right now, you don't even gotta cut them off. Just don't answer there. You're not cutting them off. Just don't respond to anything. Whomever that person is. Like, when I tell you, that when you get through that real, as a person that's reset, I'm not from Maryland at all. My help has come from my sister, or like, honestly, I've had, or not, I don't really have like a community out here that people have that are born in a state and live in that state and everything. So my moving to Maryland countless times have been really hard. So I've been like right now where I am right now, and to be at a point where I'm almost there to get a home, it makes it even better. So if you at your house and you know your goals and you there, you like just there, or even if it's a year from now, keep up. You good. Don't stop that, because it's ain't nothing like sitting in your house. Like I talked to my sister and I learned from other people's experiences. My sister got her home in 2017 and she worked her ass off, and the things she's been to get her home is beautiful. Like that's why I record here, because it's a good energy. Like it's a good energy. Like I don't like innocent. I don't need to like incense or do like stage or anything, or just like dim the lights. It's just a good vibe. So to be in your own space is the best thing ever. Sometimes you gotta just, like they say, not to get biblical, God won't give you anything until you can take care of what you have currently. So if you got an apartment and you ain't taking care of that apartment, you ain't gonna get that house. And if you do, you ain't gonna be able to take care of that house. So stay where you at. Keep working towards it. Those people maybe you shouldn't date, or you're dating the wrong people, but just don't look too much into that. Listen, once you get that house, they gonna come. Okay. They gonna come regardless. And it's up to you to figure out. That's a whole nother story. So you can see who's real and who isn't. The people that seeing you right now, they being their real selves, and you can honestly kind of respect them for that, because of the fact that you don't got a house, you ain't where. Okay, cool, bet I'll be there. But you know what I'm saying. So keep working towards it, man, and you will be there. And it's so once you get there, it's gonna be just a great thing. So that's all I had to say on that. That's that on that. Anybody else?
Aaron, did you want to chime in, Aaron? Because I heard you say immediately after I read it, no.
Listen, because my thing is, unless you can, now some living situations are not healthy. You have to get out. You have to explore your options. It's just not working. Right. Many situations you can bide your time. You know, so cleansing the air. But it's like, but you have to. It's like keeping a foot in the present to keep yourself together, but then also look into the future. So, and it comes down to having the money. If you have the money, then you have the options. So she could be somebody that maybe never wants to own a house because repairs and all the other stuff. Because home ownership is great, but it also comes with that other side, which can take a person out. However, she still got money. So she can figure out, she can travel more. She might buy a property and decide, okay, this is just my Airbnb, but I'm gonna rent. Or have a property that has multiple properties within that one, where it's Airbnb, she's renting out, she's doing that. But all those options present themselves because she has money. So I think just focusing on what she wants, what's important to her in the present, but then also in the future will clarify that. But yeah, save the money.
Yeah, save the money. And there's a lot of programs out there for new homeowners. There's a lot of programs out there in any state that you can get into a home. Like, gone are the days of our grandparents that put 20% down on a house. And big up if you have done that, 20% down on a $350,000 house. Big up to you. But gone are those days.
Big up to all the homeowners, because there's a couple in the chat box. So
big up to all. Big up to all of y'all.
On their house, so shout outs to them too.
Yeah, let me hold $1. I need something. Yeah, big up.
They ain't got it because they got a house.
Big up to y'all, man. So we're at the hour-and-a-half mark. We can it's up to you guys. I'm gonna give it up to the guests, not you, Suki, because I know you can keep going. Because do you guys want to do one more Suki scenario, or do you want to? Yeah. Do y'all want to do one more Suki scenario and then get out, or y'all ready to leave? And this is not putting y'all under pressure. Y'all can say no, it's totally fine. Kind of like putting y'all under pressure.
It is.
All right, we'll cancel it. It'll be over. It's over. I understand. So look, I want to just say this. Let me pull this part out. I'm sure Suki is going to talk as well, so I won't say on behalf of both of us, but on behalf of Another Black Podcast and myself, I really do thank all of you guys. I thank Georgetown University and an department of CSJ. I'll just say that. Thank you, Chanel Robertson, a listener of the show that's in the comments, I believe, and she threw some shots at me trying to play me, saying I couldn't read.
And she
but
also
it's
said
okay.
she's going to set up my OnlyFans, so I'm here for her. Like, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, she also the Aggie. I had to give her that. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for the listeners. Thank you for everybody that's starting it. Again, this is the first stop on our Who Are Gonna Be There tour. In 2 weeks, we will be going. No, 3 weeks. Next spot is Studio 54 Grooming Room, which will be an audio. It won't be a video stream, but you can hear this live in time, audio wise. That's something else I'm throwing myself out there to figure out how to do. So there's that, and that's going to be fun too. People can pull up, but you have to DM us because we're trying to be cognizant of the CDC and the COVID thing. And all we ask, all these places except for our final place, December 5th, which will be a live pop-up and me DJing, and it's going to be fun. All these places are free to pull up to us on. They're all Black owned.
Support the business.
Huh?
Thank
you, Suki. We just actually support the business. That's all. Some type of way, whether get a haircut or buy products. My barbershop, if you know me, you know I don't play about visuals and how things look. The barbershop that I go to is a gorgeous place. It looks good. They hold events there. So it's gonna be a good time. So that's that on that. And we'll talk about it as we continue because we'll probably record in between the next time. But again, we thank you guys. We thank you a lot. Suki, did you want to add to it before we give the guests time to talk their shit and then leave out?
I'm gonna pass the mic to them because you pretty much covered everything. I do want to reiterate that if you do want to come to any of the other pop-ups that we're gonna have, please support the businesses. Like, we're big on that. I don't care where you own a Black-owned business. If you own it, let us know so we can shout you out. We want to move the traffic your way, whatever it takes, because that's the only way that you build community, right? Like, it's not enough to just say that you're about it, but to actually be about it. Like, I will buy from a Black-owned business. Y'all might be slow getting my greens together. I'm probably going to come back next week because I like to eat. Like, it don't matter. But we got to support each other. That's really, really big. Support and love on one another because we're all going through. You feel me? Like, so just be gentle with each other, y'all. Make sure you rest. Take care of yourself. Set boundaries. It's okay. If you can say no, I said no to like 7 things today, and it felt really good. But I just want to,
telling you about that.
Say thank you to,
yes,
and I thank you for that. But I want to shout out Georgetown University. I want to shout out all the people that thought that we, belonged in this space. This is a very Black podcast in this beautiful space, and I appreciate that we got the opportunity to shine and do this, and to do this with people that I love and admire more than you guys know. So you guys give me hope and inspiration, and I appreciate and value you guys and your time.
These comments are wild, yo.
Thank you again.
So look, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from how we were gonna do your bios in the beginning. So we're gonna start with Shannon, and then we'll end with Whitney, and we'll just give y'all time to talk. Shannon, do you want to say anything before you leave out? You want to talk? Well, we'll do how we normally leave. Is there anything that you've learned from this show? And then you can like unmute your mic because I see it muted. So
I've learned the names and professions and offerings of all the beautiful people on this call. So I just want to thank y'all for sharing space. What else have I learned? I'm still processing a lot of this. It was a really dense talk. It was really well-rounded discussion around education. I feel like we're all very aligned in how we're feeling right now, what we're experiencing, and how to use this. I'm sorry. How to use this collective experience to enhance us and not get us down. So yeah, I'm just thinking.
Well, thank you for that. Is there do you want to big up your IG or anything?
Oh, sure. You can follow House of Ease at House of Ease BK. on at Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
House of Bees.
And
houseofbees.com.
Okay, and we will put that in our show so people can see that. Again, we thank you for being a part of this, and you'll probably be on the show. We'll probably do a call in with you, or if you're back in Maryland sometime, we can definitely link up with you. Okay?
That's fine.
All right, we appreciate you. Thank you. All right, next up, Big Dog Aaron.
Mm-hmm. All right, just to piggyback off of what Shannon said, check us out at houseofeats.com. All the myriad of things that we do are listed there, from the production of films, workshops, trainings, back to the Juneteenth event that we talked about earlier. So the entire event is up to watch anytime, whenever you want. Mm-hmm. My big message to everyone is that everything is going to be okay. Life is a series of ebbs and flows. It's a series of yes and no's. You will be okay. So just focus on what you want, set your intentions, and fall into it fully with all your energy. You will be okay. So, trust in that and help somebody else be okay as well. And thank you all for having me and Shannon.
I just want to tell you I love you, friend, and I miss you, friend.
I love you too, boo. I miss you so much.
So wait, real quick before Aaron goes, I just wanted to share a story on how we met. We met at work, and I told him he was going to be my friend, and he turned his desk chair and told me no. And I was like, that's not going to happen.
Because she talked too much.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I just want to tell you I love you, Aaron, and I thank you so much for being a part of this and your years of friendship and just being your amazing self. So thank you again for being, here and taking the time to do this.
All right. Thank you, love. Thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Right. Stay dope, man.
All right.
All right. Juanice, what have you learned from this episode? Do your shit. Talk your shit.
Honestly, I learned a lot about Juneteenth. Because being from this area, it's not something that's, often celebrated. So that was a nice little tidbit, but also just hearing everybody where their perspectives are in the education world. I'm in the school, but it's just so awesome to hear other people working outside in support of that. So, this is just, I really appreciate being able to come and be here with you guys. This was fun. I had an awesome time. And apparently I jumped the gun with saying Aggie Pride.
It's so many Aggies. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to be that guy.
They're everywhere.
It's everywhere. Like Aggie. It is kind of Aggie.
It's a force. We're a force. But no, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, we really do appreciate you being a part of this. It's super dope. Thank you for being a part of this and giving us your time. We know that you could probably be doing 1,000 other things. You mentioned that you worked crazy work hours because of COVID. So thank you. Right. And hopefully, and I know we will bring you on again, hopefully on some audio, and we can have some face-to-face type of show with you guys. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Whitney.
Okay, the Beyonce of education.
I cannot. Well, I'm grateful for a lot of different things. One, I've stated already before, this space is so dope. I'm so proud of both of y'all, the work that you put in, the time that you put in. Suki already mentioned that I got to shout out social media, because if it wasn't for Instagram, I would have never known you. And I'm telling y'all, I don't know how long we've been following each other, but when I say you keep me rolling, I look forward to your stories all of the time. One, because it's just like, wow, my counterpart is out there in the world. Like everything that I see you post, I'm just like, yes, that's me. That's my homegirl. And I tell everybody about you. And like, obviously, through Suki, I met you, Dolo. I love you guys' aura, your spirit. And so I'm really grateful for this space that you have created. You deserve all the love, all the praise. I'm grateful for this partnership with Georgetown to talk about something that I love and care about, which is Blackness and education. So, Suki, you mentioned something earlier, which is this concept of rest. That is what I learned that we need most during this podcast, which is just like time to really take a step back from the work and analyze it, a little critically, really some tough love on it to really decide and determine, what we need as a people to, make the best out of our communities and, really grow and nurture our children so that they can be everything that they can be. So I'm so glad y'all had me.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And like I should have asked everybody else, but just to let everybody know that's still watching and for our audio, because this will be turned into audio on our SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify. You can see everybody's IG in the latest post that we had. It's me, and I tagged everybody that's a part of this on it, including House of Ease. So every individual that was on here, including House of Ease. But would you like Whitney to give your IG or no? Or
yes, so I'm always on IG, not really on Facebook or Twitter, but it's my name. So it's Whitney, and then it's X, and then Henderson. So Whitney X Henderson.
All right, and happy belated birthday.
Yes, happy belated birthday, babe. I'm gonna
nice.
take a sip of champagne for you.
There you go. There you go.
Happy birthday.
But we appreciate you, and hopefully we can do like a call in, or if you're ever in Maryland, or maybe this thing takes us to a place where we doing real traveling with it, and we will do some type of sit down. But we definitely will link up in person and do some real work together.
Yeah, I would love that. And I work from Maryland, so when this is all over, I can't wait to meet y'all face to face.
Oh, yes. For sure.
Likewise.
All right, well, thank you, and you have a great rest of the day. All right.
You too. Bye, y'all.
All right, bye. Suki.
And then there were two. What's up?
And then there were two. It was just us. Listen, we want to thank again. We want to thank Georgetown University Department CSJ Center for Social Justice and Research for teaching and services. This has been, they started something they do annually, I believe, and it starts on Monday and ends on Friday, called Education for Liberation Week, which you can see the logo in our backdrop right here. It's such a dope thing that Suki and I started. And when did we start this? 2018.
2018. Yeah.
2018.
We were both a part of two different shows, and then we came together.
And we came together and did this. And I'm so happy that we are like progressing. Although we deal with a lot of BS with other things and our personal lives, we're still progressing and moving forward. So we thank everybody that rock with us. We thank Chanel Robertson, or Shay, yes. First Lady Shay, who has been trolling me the whole time and trolling, me actually, but been nice to everybody else. Everybody trolls me on the show. Like literally everybody trolls me. Like literally. I don't know what that's about.
Our fan favorite Keon is not in the chat box because he's working right now.
Yeah, so because he trolls me too. I don't know if Ali is still on, but Ali definitely had asked me a question.
He's right here across from me.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it's not a P80 build. It's an AR-15 build. It's an AR build. But in any case, the thing is, like, we're so happy, and thank everybody that's been a part of this. Shannon, Aaron, Whitney, Juanice, like everybody. We think that y'all can give us y'all Black excellence in y'all fields. We want to do this again, but we don't want to do education. We want to just talk shit, and we want to include liquor.
But this was dope.
No, this was a lot of fun. But I want to do you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate it. I thank everybody that's been a part of this, man. Y'all so freaking dope. With that being said, Suki, what have you learned from this episode? Let's close out and get these people the rest of their day.
Black people are phenomenal human beings, and so the fact that we can collaborate and come together, I know I'm on my, I don't know what glass this is, but we're phenomenal human beings, and the fact that like we can collaborate and come together. A lot of people promote Blackness, but do they adhere and live to that? Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's questionable, but this is really that type of space. So like, I want everybody to get their shit off and like be able to talk their shit and, just coexist as their amazing self, because all of us are so different. And I just want the world to be able to see that. So I'm glad that this is a safe space, that we had this opportunity. I was super nervous. I've
Yeah, you
never
were.
nervous before. I don't know. I was really nervous. And y'all know I'm real as fuck, so I'm gonna tell y'all that I dropped the F-bomb. I'm sorry. But
It's
I'm glad and
okay.
I'm honest.
This is your
But
listen, this is your platform. Like you can say whatever
right.
you want.
But I just, again, I thank you for the opportunities, and it just is really a blessing to have friends that, and colleagues that think of you to put you in spaces, that they feel like you deserve to be in. So I'm thankful. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I've learned from this episode is that oh man, I don't know. I learned so many different things. I know that I learned that 6 people that I can conduct an interview with 6 people.
You did the
That's
damn
one
thing.
thing. I was fucking nervous as hell, but it's nothing really that I learned. It's just something that really just made it stronger. That I know that it's so many dope Black individuals out here, people like-minded, as Whitney said, like like-minded people with this type of excellence that exudes from them. Like I love it. I love to see that. That's the type of thing that gets people going, it's provocative. Like I love that. You don't understand how much that makes me excited. So I love it. This is gold for the show. This is gold for I'm glad that CSJ, aka and Shay, has brought this opportunity to us, and I'm glad that the start of this tour that we're doing, our first tour, Suki, that we were able to start off so big, like for like a podcast that was just an idea to see, like because the first episode called Rough Draft was just like let's just see if it was called Rough Draft because it was bad, but just to see if we sounded good together.
Right.
Like that's how I look at things. So I'm so happy that 2 years, close to 3 years later, that we are moving in this direction. That we got listeners and dope people, and I'm just happy, man. And my heart is full, and it's still early, and I
So you
still
can
got a
make a
little
move.
champagne. I ain't
You get
making no
ready to make a move
moves. I'm at
too.
my sister's. I'm about to put music. Listen, I'm about to put music on and dance to some Anita.
Ditto. Okay, ditto.
But again, we appreciate y'all. Be on the lookout for our next episode. Like I said, in a few weeks, we will be doing the next part of our tour release is the Studio 54 Grooming Room based out of Bowie, Maryland, aka Glendale or slash Glendale. It's a really nice spot where I get my hair cut. Really
Let's pull
dope.
up and support.
Pull up. If you want to pull up, you have to DM us because we can't have all y'all pulling up. Can't be like 30 Negroes in there because that will happen just because it's this type of thing. So it's gonna be dope. It won't be like the pop-up before. I don't think I'm gonna hook speakers up, but knowing him, he might want me to hook the speakers or anything up. But it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a good vibe. All we ask y'all to do is just to support him in some type of way. His establishment, because this Black man has been doing this for over 25 years. And he's showed me so much about DJing. So this is my good friend. So, and then after that, that takes us 24. We do Friendsgiving on the 21st, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is completely RSVP.
That's closed out. That's Patsy
Close.
done with that. But we are still recording. Suki and I are gonna record early, which will be audio. It will be streamed live via audio, so you'll be able to hear that. And before that, we'll be recording that. Another pull up will be the Hideout based out of Laurel, Maryland, which is another free spot. All we ask you to do is to support. All you gotta do is buy some wings, some fries, or some drinks or whatever. That's gonna be a good vibe. So again, we thank everybody that's pulling up. Have a shot for us later on.
Yes.
And y'all stay dope. Oh, Suki, we gotta end it. I'll be forgetting. This is
another Black podcast.
I am Dolo and
Suki.
and y'all stay dope.
Peace out, y'all.